Alright, hot zones. Continuing with support resistance, but fib levels this time. So my thought process, I demonstrated it backwards in the previous video about the horizontals on purpose, just because I want you to understand the idea of support and resistance. You might have already understood it. It's a really basic concept, but you can eyeball it saying that this is support and resist. This is a hot zone because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is AVAX, and we have future price action that I haven't looked at yet. I didn't cherry pick this example. We're gonna do it. We're gonna walk through my thought process. That's one hot zone. That's obviously another one. And we'll check out our fib levels to see if that is right. So take out your fib level or fib tool, which is this thing right here. Yours won't look like this right away. Template, apply defaults. That's what it'll look like. It's really ugly. See how the price is on the left, too many colors, it's just like a tower of garbage. So take off the background, put the labels to the right, because price action comes from the left, and it just looks cluttered. Remove everything above 1. Remove the 236 and the 0.5. Increase the font size if you want. I like the 18 because I have a big monitor. I suggest keeping the trend line there just to learn, because it matters drawing it from top to bottom and bottom to top. In this example, top to bottom, you can see that's a downtrend, and that means we found a top and a bottom. We want to see where price will react, and each level has a different weight of significance. So I already have my template saved, but you can change your colors. I'm gonna load mine, but you save yours as default, and then create another one. So remove anything under 1 and add the 1618, 2618, 3618, and save that as ATH, all-time high, and that'll help you identify areas to take profit at on the way up. Anyone can make money during a bull market, but the profitable people are the ones that keep the money, right? And in all-time high, there's no resistance to say I need to sell here. You got to take profits on the way up, and this will help you to take profits. So I'm gonna load my defaults. 236. I have my color preferences. You have yours. So we have our tool set, and I've identified these just with my eyes, and let's check out how accurate it was. Pretty close. Like I said, they're zones. They're not exact. But sometimes you'll see that they're exact because it's fucking voodoo lines, dude. These work like magic for some reason. It's all psychological. People are attracted to these levels. Okay, so we've identified our high time frame, daily, and we want to see what price, if price can get up to there. Let's check the weekly stochastic RSI to see where it's at. Ooh, that looks really nice. That shot up, but kind of cheating. I don't know why it does that when you go to a higher time frame. It shows you the candles ahead of time. Motherfucker. Okay, we'll keep going. Does anything look interesting to us? Volume's picking up. Strength is kind of going down, but let's look at the zoom in. 4 hour, nothing interesting. 8 hour, nothing interesting. Oh, it looks like it wants to make a move though. Let's continue on the day until we see something interesting. Alright, we want to clear this high to be really interested in this. Lots of volume though, so I'm interested in to see what it's going, what's happening under the hood. Let's check the 1 hour. Again, I'm not looking for a trade on the daily because everything looks it's too high for me, right? My risk, if I were to buy here, I'm buying into resistance. Why is this resistance? Our previous high. Oh, we broke a level though. But our previous high should be that. The resistance level. Okay, we can start paying attention to this because if it does this, that's a successful retest. That's an uptrend, right? Despite this, because if it does this, things will reset. The RSIs will reset. And under the hood, let's check what that looks like. And the volume looks convincing, dude. My dude. All right. Let's continue with our day. We've set alerts here. Oh, you can't set alert in what's this shit called? Replay mode. But what we can track, what we did track was this. That's a fake out before. Oh, that would have been a nice right there. But we didn't start our example there, but you know what? Let's identify that as our original starting point of this video. Clear trend to track. That's our previous high. I'll make this our previous high because that actually makes more sense. Touch, touch. If you look at this, that also respects this area. And that is previous high. And that's what I said. I mean, like, I don't know if I said this already, but it'll take some massaging. Like, you could use this, and it respects that. But the most local high is the one that you should use, because it also respects this. And, like, that's why there's zones, because some people will use this, some people will use that. Like, the areas of interest rather than, you know, exact levels. So this is all we had to start off with. I'm really interested in this. Why? Strength. Direction. Volume. Confluence, baby. Alright. So remember we drew our high time frame zones? Once we get there, we can expect a big rejection, or if it breaks it, like extreme volatility to the upside. So we're going to keep going. We're going to zoom in actually and see what's up. If we could find an entry on this somewhere. 1 hour. Our entry would have been there. We missed it. But with alerts, I would have had an alert set on this trend line. Yeah, you can't do that there during whatever replay mode. I would have had the alert set. If you watched my "Why Should You Pay for Trading View" video, you would have had an alert set on this trend line that lasted how many days? Take our day measuring tool. So we're slowly putting everything together. This isn't just about fib lines. I'm kind of doing them in chronological order of what we've learned so far. 183 days. And realistically, you would have set that alarm here. You would have gotten faked out here. But at the same time, reset your alarm because that was unsuccessful. And then this one, as a daily close outside of it, you would have set your alarm probably on the 4 hour saying, once a 4 hour candle closes outside of it, let me know. And when is that 4 hour close? That would have been right there. Right here. The next candle will show us. Doink. So a candle close. That was a fake out. Then we reset our alerts. Let us know when it happens again. and it happened. So we want to look under the hood for something possible. Any breakout candle, I think this is my personal strategy. My risk to reward, just under the breakout candle, if you want to be that degenerate or that you know, gung-ho. Our indicators, you know, don't show that, and that's the skill. Over time, you'll realize, you'll learn these patterns, the behavior of the market. If it comes back in here, it's another fake out, just like that, right? Our stop loss would have been here on that breakout, on the candle break, the breakout candle. Where the fuck is it on this one? So the breakout candle was this one here, because that was rejected. It's still not that, whatever, not that big. 1.60. That's pretty good. So that's 10%. Another rule I have is if I'm scalping, every 10% I take out. But was there a level here of significance? Yeah, this resistance here, but we wouldn't have known that. But it's interesting that it did happen there. But it was a fake out on the high time frame. You got stopped out. By this point, you would have set your stop loss to break even, or started taking, or like, once I see something at like 10%, but this is within an hour. That was really fast. That would have been hard. I would have got stopped out. That's called the round trip. So yeah, back to this example. Candle breakout, just below the breakout candle. And this is a nice risk to reward. 2. And where's our next high? You can assume it wants to try to go here. We have a top. We have a bottom. Well, let's be conservative. 10%. That's 1 to 5. Right about here. Might blow past it, but this is a scalping idea because we're on the 1 hour. This is a nice trade here. And sometimes you'll put it here because, oh, price is there. But sometimes the market front runs that area, depending on market conditions, and it'll stop here, not even touch that area, right? Remember how I said sometimes it goes in here? Sometimes it will. That's a less conservative approach. This is more conservative, smaller amount, but you know, you're front running, which is a valid strategy because really obvious price action doesn't always happen because it's too obvious, right? Market makers like to play those games. So I do like this area. Yeah, if you don't look left, you're not looking right. So this area has a lot of confluence as being a rejection zone. And it lines up with my idea of this being valid still and it being around the 618. I typically set an alarm just before it to see if the price front runs it. I'll pay attention. I won't close my position or have my TP there, but if I see it starting to lose strength, I'll manually close it. But yeah, on with the example. We've identified some areas of interest at this level at 10.64. So we keep going. Stopped out of that one. But now we can start watching. We've only lost 1. So if we take trades at 1 to 5, we can lose 4 and gain 5, or and lose 4 and win 1 and still be in profit or break even. But imagine winning 2 or 3 of those, or even just 2, you're in profit with that type of risk to reward. So this still interests me because this is a bullish pattern. That's a bull flag. I'm still interested in this. It didn't do this. That clearly is a fake out. This isn't yet. This is still bullish. I like this. And why do I like that? Because this, to me, might be a small fake out, but I have this level to look at right there. It didn't violently go up and then down. That's like lots of sell pressure. That's within 1 hour. Within 2 hours that happened. You know, you want slow price action because that's more sustainable. So we have, see how I have 3 different fib zones I drew? I drew the high time frame. I drew a somewhat bigger, let's see what that looks like on the day. A bigger macro one. See the day there? Oh, it's 100%, yada yada. And then I'm looking in this for some tie-in to these areas. There's a nice level juicy spot there. So I'm happy still if it goes up to here because that's a higher high. So we'll move this because we're still looking at a bull flag. We're looking for entries if it comes down here or if it starts turning bullish. Again, this is exactly how I'm thinking when I'm looking at this. I didn't cherry pick this example on purpose. You'll see a lot of YouTube videos like, oh, you gotta just do this. It's a cherry picked example. And the problem with that, it's like, you'll be frustrated like, oh fuck, I can't get what they're doing because it's not exactly what they did. You know, they had success in there and they made it look so easy. But a lot of the times those are cherry picked just to illustrate the idea, and they don't say that. And yeah, like, oh, you'll be profitable if you follow me. Oh, look at that. Interesting. Rejected off of that area. So now we're in between a local and an even smaller local. I don't know what you want to call that, but that's why I don't like having those trend lines, because it becomes too many lines. This already looks crazy to me. I end up deleting a lot of these after until we get there. So I'm going to delete this, but know that this was an area of significance because we had a 382 lined up there. All right, so now it's a little cleaner. We're paying attention to this area and this area. What is going to happen with price? I'm paying attention now because my alarm set off, and I'm very interested in this here and the volume, and like it didn't bleed like really fast like that other fake out there. That was too much. That's not sustainable. And there was no volume really there. It was just on that one move, and then even greater volume participation on the sell side. Okay, nothing looks interesting yet. Okay, I like that. Could we have caught that on the 15? Yeah, we would have caught that on the 15. But regretfully, my time frame was the 1 hour. Let's go back and just look at the indicators, because I want to reinforce everything we've learned. Whoops, select bar. If you were scalping, that's why I don't know if I mentioned in this video. I've recorded this video like twice because I forgot to press record the first time. And that one was so much better than this one. Like, fuck. I'm really just winging it as I'm making these. It's like just to make it raw with my thought process. So, what's the reason to buy this one? We've identified that top. Whoops, wrong one. Where's the top on this one? Right there, okay. This would have been the bottom for this local, because we're on the 15-minute. When you're on the more you zoom in, the more higher lows and lows you'll have. So you're gonna have to adjust your fib levels. For the 1 hour, this is fine, right? Because it's a higher time frame. And just like on our weekly, see how big of the high and low we have? It really changes, and that's the skill, that's the dynamic, that's the part you're gonna have to practice. You know, it has to make sense with price action on the left. So when we zoom in onto the 15 and we're adjusting our fib zone, do this. Does it respect a lot of things? Yeah, it does. That is a previous high, and that was support, right? You won't see that on the higher time frames. This zone here, rejection, touch, yada yada, touch, rejection, bounce. So we like this. We like this area. That's my area of significance. And let's go look at the next 15-minute candle. Oh, I would definitely place a bid here. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Let's go 2%. And our upside. Let's look at our oscillators. The 1 hour. That's bottomed out. What does our strength look like on the 15? So if you're trading the 15-minute, your frame of reference, or your what's a good example? A good analogy. I love analogies, but I don't have a good one in this example. So think about the 1 hour, the high time frame. Your 1 hour, if you want to trade the 15-minute, should be like a container of, fuck, that's a bad example. But basically, your 1 hour should be telling you, okay, that's a hot zone because it's at the bottom and it's on a support. What your 15-minute tells you, it's a little more, it's faster in terms of oh man, I don't want to get too deep into that time frame stuff yet. We're talking about fib levels, but the significance of the fib level is you're getting the idea that it respects hot zones. But I'm just trying to illustrate that you can have multiple fib levels within smaller time frames, and that's how you snipe your entries or scalp. So right now we're scalping. We're not trying to snipe, because my example right now, the 1 hour move to snipe wouldn't, like, we missed it, and that's okay. You're gonna miss some moves if your specific time frame is a higher one, right? You'll miss some. But for the sake of drawing another fib level within a smaller time frame and having to adjust the low to this, because that's a high and that's a low, that's a high, and you don't see that on the high time frames, right? So that's where your fib would go. And then what I did, I dragged it across to see if it made sense. Does it make sense? Remember I highlighted that? Yes. How about this level? Yes. Lots of price action, you know, happening in this zone. And that's the point I want to get across. Eventually, we'll be able to be more accurate once we include all the tools to identify momentum, support and resistance, because we have so many more tools to help identify that this being a strong level. And then you can zoom in even more from a higher time frame because you have much more confluence. So yeah, we would have caught this move if we were on the 15-minute scalping because our signals did show us you're buying into resistance, but our risk is so low, 2%. You could even go here, but that's kind of obvious. 2% is nice wiggle room. You can use higher leverage too. And then our, oh, that's a double bottom as well. We'll talk about those in another video. So again, top to bottom on a higher time frame, the 1 hour. I don't know why I used the 4. Excuse me. So we can say our reward should be around here. 1 to 5 again. So we can delete this one. Since we're still working with the 15-minute on, we don't know if it's gonna go here. We don't know if it's gonna stay there or there. Kind of do know now, but my point is, if we don't know, keep the one that's the most local. Yeah, we already know. Now we can just look at the 1 hour. And at this point, you can maybe move your stop tighter to here. Ah, fuck, I don't want to go too much into that, but you're starting to get the picture of like risk management, which I'll do another video on. And now we have a new trend. It's really steep, but it looks pretty okay. So we're continuing with the 1 hour because that's our high time frame reference. Look at that. It's trying to curl up. Strength is looking like it's curling up. Alright, we broke this high. This is looking nice. What's going to happen now? Volume's picking up. So at this point, I would move my stop or increase my position size to here. Because that's a support level, that's a low, or that's a high, I mean. See how it bounced off of that? Because 1, 2. And remember, high time frame takes precedence. If you're unsure about the move you're in, and remember what your exit signs are. Crossing over, losing strength, crossing over, and we were trading this is our time reference, the 1 hour, for our moves that are much noisier on the 15. The 1 hour is at the bottom, so this is still looking really good. Right? What does our 4 hour want to do? It's on the way down, so it might potentially break this momentum line, but we don't know yet. Oh, look at that, shit. It's doing that, but what does the 1 hour look like? Alright, I've been yapping for 28 minutes. Oh, it's losing strength, but it's close to the 50 line, and it's at the bottom. So we don't want to lose this, because if we start losing that, we got to start paying attention. We got to make a decision if we're going to cut it or not. But we're in profit. Our stop loss is right here under this low, this level. So if we get stopped out, we make money. We don't give a shit. Okay, look at that. Lots of volume, convincing, very convincing. So once you start getting bigger moves from a scalp, then you can start turning them into swing trades. That's what's powerful about, you know, being able to trade the lower time frames, because it gives you more opportunity for bigger home runs. I don't like using that term, but because people get used to looking for them. Start off small and then go big if you're scalping. But if you're trading the daily, investing, it's like, you know when to DCA heavy, you know when not to. And you're not going to hit home run. You might hit home runs with your DCA thing, but you know, that's not what you're looking for as an investor. You're looking for steady gains. But this is looking good. Strength is coming in. It's about to break that previous high, and it doesn't look like divergence yet. Volume's back in it. So this 15-minute scalp is looking great. We hit our target. But I'm going to stay in a little longer because things are looking bullish on the higher time frames. And I'm already in profit. I moved my thing up there, or my stop loss. I'm going to delete this because we're not focusing on that. We're just looking at hot zones. So where's our next hot zone? Now we're going to be working with the 4 hour and the 1 hour because we're well above our entry, right? So now we're working with the more important ones. So we hit the 618 exactly. Isn't that crazy? Strength wants to come back in. It might push into here or might even go higher. We don't know. We're just going to ride this. 618, baby. Okay, now we can delete this. Allowed. Alright. So we have a momentum line to track. We can remove this. Remove that. And continue to play on the 1 hour. Now our working time frame is the 1 and our frame of reference is the 4 hour. So whatever the 4 hour says it wants to do, we zoom into the 1 hour to make the moves. Alright, so we're close to, like, we don't even have the sell signal yet. That's great. And look at that, we broke the trend of the strength, so things are going higher. But will they? Because it's up against resistance here. This level here. That's our area. And like what you can do too, if you only want one, like there's no point in having this down here unless it really wicks fast. Sometimes it's good to keep like the one you're working with, which I always highlight with the box, and the one above or below it, which is all of them. But sometimes you'll have the 236, these other two options. But this is nice and neat. We'll just keep it like that for now. Rejection. All right. Oh, check that out. Respect. There's no reason to sell yet because we're in profit from down here. Horizontal ray. From down here. Template, entry. We need to make that higher high. Oh, things are looking concerning. Are we losing momentum? Our stop loss is right there, remember? We're in profit though. How much profit are we in? You could have sold some here too. Definitely. Move your stop loss up. Sell about, 50% or 30%, depending. Like, we were scalpers at that point. So we made a quick 10%. 10x leverage, that's 100%. You put 1,000 down, you made 1,000. All within 2 days. Pretty fucking crazy. Only in crypto you can do that. That's crazy. So yeah, you took some out, but I like to build positions, especially if it breaks a high time frame. I'm a fucking home run hitter. I don't like to use that term, but I'm that guy. Yeah. But if you get stopped out below our stop loss, you still made 5 or 4.8, 4.75, let's say. That's still pretty good at 10x. And I'm going to talk later about my strategy about increasing leverage. So this wouldn't have started off as 10x. Well, maybe because it was only a 2% stop loss. But if you got like an 8% gap between whatever, for your stop loss, then you start off on like 2x or 3x and then increase it later. But yeah, that's for a different day. That'll knock your socks off. All right. So now we're testing it below the line, crossing over. If you're conservative, you will wait till it peaks through here and close your position. If you're not, you might even add to it looking at the 15-minute. Check it out. All right. Being degenerate here. Oh, nice bounce. All right, let's keep going. Check it out. What's happening? All right, we don't need to be on the 15-minute because it's looking good. Because that's looking good. That's looking all right to me. Trend lines, baby. Bitcoin. AVAX made a decision once it got to the corner of the wedge because we have our hot zone, our local hot zone saying that's resistance. And then once it gets to a wedge, it either has to do this or that. And that's, you won't know which way it'll go. You can have a good idea, but it'll get you prepared to be like, oh, I can enter this, or I can exit this, right? Oh, see how it respected that somewhat? Might even fake out and come back in, but let's check out our high time frames, our frame of reference. Oh, we still got a lot of room to go. This is looking really good. Let's check out our 12-hour. It's not, it almost crossed over, but it's still back up. It's like the day. All right, no sell signals yet. Oh, I think I did talk about moving averages in my other video. I don't remember, fuck. I'll go back and I'll make a separate one for trading in low time frames, because high time frame ones are different. Yeah, we'll start playing on the 4-hour now because we're pretty far from our original entry. Damn, dude. That scalp turned into a, if we sold at this resistance, 17.5%. It's pretty sexy. That's why I like scalping, because it gives you the option to end up in a swing trade. It's my personality. I like looking at this stuff, so it's like I don't mind. Whereas an investor won't want to do that because it's too volatile, or they just don't have the time. But you get what you put in, right? You can still make tons of fucking money next year. Like I was saying, anyone can make money in the bull run, but keeping it is the hard part. So, okay, fake out. We're still respecting this zone here. We haven't broken down completely yet. Do I have any emails? Mon. Nope. Alright. So now we gotta adjust this because we're working with a higher time frame. And the trend line looks all blah, blah. So this is a retest here. And if you zoom in, you can even draw a trend line on this thing to like really snipe. So we'll do that. So once it gets here, it's going to make a decision. And let's zoom into that decision so we can properly prepare for it if we want to add to it or minus it. Just kidding. Okay. Again, that's my thought process, so it's not going to be like, oh, then you should do this, then you should do that. I'm doing this as if I'm trading it right now. I'm scalping it. That's a nice. Are you free now? Shut up. Yeah, it's looking good on the high time frames. I'm liking it. We're on support. Strength looks good. Direction looks good. Oh no. Things not looking good. It's trying, but... Oh. Oh, we're back in. No candle close below or outside of the trend yet, but our trend line is getting all yucky. Multiple touches and very far touches. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a pretty good trend to use to track. We're getting close to decision time, guys. Guys and girls. And theys and thems. Oh, interesting. What does the high time frames look like? Oh shit. It's trying. It's getting bought up though. It's pretty nice. It's not bearish yet. We're under the median though on the 4 hour. That's our time reference because we're on the 1 hour zooming in and the 15. But we're zooming in to see if we can snipe something. And again, on a hot zone. Oh, we broke down with lots of convincing volume. Let's look at that on the 4 hour. Yeah. It's paying attention. We got to pay attention because our stop loss is right here. Or where was it? It was like right here. Well, we moved it up here because we had a low and then another high, but we're in caution area. You can either take the profit or just let yourself get stopped out because you can get stopped out in how much profit. Our original stop loss was at 4% if we got stopped out, remember? 4.9 or some shit like that. But now our stop loss is at 8% profit. So that's almost, you know, that's like 80% of your initial capital on 10x, or if you built it, it's even higher. So we'll remove this. Actually, no, not yet, because that could be a new downtrend. We'll remove this line because we're no longer respecting that uptrend until we're not, which on the 1 hour we're not, but again, could be a deviation. Is it? Might be. Yeah, we're not stopped out yet. Let's mark that. What was it at 8% that we said? Yeah. So now we're respecting this trend, rejected, and we're rejecting under a hot zone, a fib level, which is a very strong one, the 618. So you can blow past it, but it still is relevant, right? Because these looks very trappy at the moment. Yeah, it's a trap. Anyways, let's put this as stop loss. Oh, baby. Back in trend. Fuck this shit. Get the fuck out of there. We're liking it. Now we can start looking back at the 4 hour. Nice little deviation there. We're not out of the woods yet. We want the strength on the 4 hour to go higher, break that median for an explosive move. And that's looking pretty nice. Let's keep it on the 1 hour just so we don't miss anything. Okay, we're retesting there after breaking above. Oh, that's curling over though. That's looking bearish, but we're still not stopped out. you can argue that this is the new trend line. Because on a higher time frame, what does that look like? Right? Once we break that higher time frame, look, this is looking good. If that crosses over, because the 4 hour, what does that look like? It's trying, and this is also trying. Price has gained a level. It's made, if you zoom in, a higher. That's kind of tough, but it did break the trend, because the high technically is this one. It broke out. You can argue it'd be this one, but I personally would use this because this is just trying to fit into your buy. It's like, oh, we did make a higher high, but you really got to clear that one. And to know if you don't have time, again, set alerts. If we broken this level, looking bullish. Once we break the trend, looking bullish. It's like, if I'm trading for the 4 hour or the 1 hour, I'm not staring at it for 4 fucking hours. I'm setting alerts, doing whatever I have to do, dicking around my house, picking my nose, scratching my ass. But then when my alarm goes off, I'll go back to my PC or look on my phone, like, oh shit, I gotta start paying attention. That's why I'm shilling paying for it. You don't have to use my fucking referral link, but I want you to succeed. That's the mantra now. That's the mantra of this house. All right, are we retesting? If we break this high, then I'm very bullish on this. All right, that's looking good. Look at the 15. Oh, motherfucker. I cheated. I clicked the wrong button. We'll have to go from here. Crap, man. So we were up here. Select bar. Why is that the furthest? Oh God. Select bar, why won't you let me go further? Bro. I hate this shit when it happens. Let's fast forward. Yeah, we already know all this shit. Alright, we're getting close. We were about right. Yeah, we were there. Select bar. That zone, very respected. That was right at the trend level, 618. With the other tools that we're gonna have, this will be like, holy shit, it's mind blowing. All this confluence on here of being a good level. That does not look good, like we were saying. But does it become good? Let's look at the 15-minute. You can even start tracking that with one of these guys. That's what we're paying attention to, this wedge. We'll go to the 1 hour because we already have. We'll start zooming in on the 15 once we get really close. Because we're swing trading now, not scalping. Rejected. Alright, a candle close above there. Now, we can't remove that. Because we set an alert. Alert to remind us, hey, price is broken over there. New high. That's our hot zone. You could even argue to draw Let's check this. Yeah, that's a zone here. That's our local support. See that? So we don't want price to go below this because that's our 382. And below that, lower low. We want it to keep momentum because it's showing us. There we go. That's our new working zone. Remove this. Our 786. See how long ago we drew this, but it's still acting as support and resistance? You won't have to use your eyes like I showed you in the previous one, but that was just to reinforce the idea, right? So now we're going to look at the 4 hour because this is a really high momentum move. Our strength is looking good, direction is looking good. What's the high time frame tell us? 8 hour. Come on, baby. Yeah, that's looking sexy. Volume's climbing. Strength above the 50, the median. And there, we can even start looking at the 12 hour and then just the 4 hour. Right? We don't need to drill down too much to the 15 unless we want to really know when an accurate exit is, when all the stochastics and oscillators line up with each other. So now we'll start looking at predominantly the 4 hour. Alright. Interesting. Ooh. Still respecting 786. Is this a top though? We don't know yet because we haven't broken momentum. We've only faked it out. Okay, let's keep going on the 4 hour. Alright. Yeah. We've identified a top. And what do we do now? Remove that. Remove that. We're not stopped out yet. But we're working with a 4 hour. Where can price retrace to? Just below our stop loss. So this is safe. I'm happy to still hold on to this. If you're conservative, you would have sold there. But I'm already in how much profit? Still 8%. And if this bounces here, or if it even bounces there, I move my stop loss up and I secure even more profit. But let's keep going. Oh yeah, baby. So now my stop loss is what? Just under this low, above that support. If you're conservative, you still would have kept it under here because that's still support, right? Or no, actually, that's support. Oh, hell yeah, baby. Check that. Stop loss can go under that support because you don't sell support, you sell resistance. So if it goes here, it could bounce back up. Could. It's not going to, but keyword could. But see how I'm dragging the stochastic RSI, the fib level up to, you know, different areas. And now we're going to identify our next local hot zone. So this is a zone that we should pay attention to. Yep, we should pay attention around here. For our move, and if we do hit that, look at what our profit would have been from a scalp. 40%. Again, that's why I really like scalping, learning the low time frames, because they can turn into home runs. I said don't be that guy, but not that I know exactly what I'm doing, but I know how to, I know my risk. I know how to, I understand my time frames and when to look at each one. And that takes time because it took me a while to figure out. That's probably that's the last thing I had to learn. That's the last thing that was my last aha moment before I got my system like that. It's a very confusing concept because my problem and what a lot of people's problem is they just keep looking at the 15-minute and it's like way too much noise. Once you get like 10% away from your entry on a scalp, start looking at the 1 hour to 4 hour. Once you get like 15%, start looking at the 4 hour to 12 hour. Once you get like 40% or you hit that home run, that's like a 4x, or not 4x, but like 40% profit, then you can start looking at the 12 and day, and then it might even be 100x during the bull run, right? You got to know which ones to look at. That's going to take practice. You're not going to get that right away, but with fib levels, I don't know how to tie that in, but with practice, you'll understand your low time frame fib levels will also help you look at what time frame to use. That's not going to make sense at first, but the more you do it, you'll be like, oh shit, I get it, because when you're looking at the 15-minute, that could be an area, right? That's your low. And look, fucking respected that shit. And this is another one. See that? Lots of price action around that area. But then on the 4 hour, it's like that's just a tiny blip. It doesn't. That's insignificant. But we'll keep it there just to see what happens. And there's another one down here. Ah, see that? Comes down to 618. What does it do after that? What's a high time frame telling us? Oh, still got some juice, dude. Oh, see that reaction there? We love the 618 guys. We fucking love the 618. Oh, yeah. We love the 382. Yeah, baby. And look at this. And it's not bearish yet. But let's look under the hood. Let's zoom in a bit. See, let's try to understand what's going on. Volume's tapering down, though. No, that's not good. Same with strength. But there's no divergence yet. Alright. Higher high. Boom. Hits our zone. Let's look at the 4 hour. No sell signals yet. But take profit. If you intended that to be like, dude, where are we at right now? Almost 40% profit. So removing this shit here. Remove that. That was that local fib. See how it still respected all within the low time frame? That smaller fib from this range to that, or this level to that top. It still respected everything in this. That was the 618. That was the 382. And then boom. So we're moving our stop loss. We're not moving it yet because we haven't confirmed this as a support. So now we're going to move this up here. Actually, yeah, we can move it because we made a new high. And this would be our stop loss. How much profit have we secured from our original entry? What? Oh yeah, we've secured 16%. But right now we're up 38%. Yeah, that's pretty hot. But I don't know if I need to go over... Yeah, I should talk about the all-time high tool. But I want to illustrate, now that we're on a high time frame, would I sell this now? Not yet, because I have a stop loss, so I'm just going to let it ride. We'll let the daily candles play out now. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. 618, baby. That's a juicy trade off of that scalp. Again, that's why I fucking love scalps. they turn into juicy ass shit like this, baby. All right, now we can get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. We're very far from that. Our stop loss is well in profit. We'll move it just below this area because that's another support. We expect that to be support because of this and those candles. These are high time frame day candles. Oh yeah. And if we zoom in, what does that look like? A retest of what level is that? 618. My favorite fucking level, 618, the orange line. That's why that's why I don't like to keep them all the same color, so I can visually see that these are the levels that it bounced off of. But yeah, look how great this trade is turning out to be. All by looking at hot zones, baby. This might be a good time to talk about the ATH tool, all-time high. Yeah, I'm going to delete this. I'll use a different example, but let's just keep seeing how far this, like, if it'll reach this from our original entry and just keep scaling it up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that'll be a good time to talk about the all-time high tool. Even though we have previous price history to tell us this might be resistance here, actually. Let's see this. Template, all-time high. Whoa, that matches up there. Maybe it'll even go up to here, the 1618. Let's check out the local. 2618. Let's add the 3618. Yeah. We hit a resistance there. And that's what the all-time high tool does. Or it looks for the extended. So I went from the top to the bottom and it shows past 100%. Like a fib is 0 to 100%. Not in terms of price, but like the scale. So we have two areas I'm interested in for a rejection, which is this and this. So we'll make a box, identify that as a hot zone based on 2 fib levels. Let's see what's up. Oh, see that rejection in there? Now we blow past it. Price is back down here. We're gonna keep that box there because that's a wick and we haven't convincingly broke out of it. Yeah, now we did. This is the daily. So we're approaching that first weekly hot zone. We can even start looking at the weekly. Dude. Our stop loss is so low. We'd probably secure that here. I would say, just to be safe, there, because that's the weekly. And we've secured how much profit? What the fuck? That's 100%? We made 100% already. Damn, dude. We secured 100%, but we're actually up 400% from a scalp. In fucking sane, dude. My dudes. Alright. We've identified a top. Now let's look at where things can retrace to. So we're good. We'll have two areas. We're gonna have to set this back to default. Fuck, I'm gonna take that shit off. Save as default. This is a long video, I'm sorry, but I really want to illustrate how I use this in the thought process, because you're gonna draw so many different ones on your charts, and that's like I'm showing you like how not to get confused and like different ways to, you know, stay organized with your thoughts. So the daily is curling over, losing strength. That's some divergence here, right there. Look. Price went up though. Ta-dong, ta-dong. You can close out you can front run this area. But what does the weekly tell us? We're not below that median yet. We're below the median on the day, but we're well away from any type of scam wicks. So our working zone, remove this. We're eyeing this fib level. To see what happens. Bounce. Let's check out if we're gaining strength on the lower time frame. Yeah, we are. It's looking all right. And then again, whoops, we do one of these. Once price gets to this closer to here, it has to make a decision, either that or that, and that's why we draw the trend line to tell us when that's going to happen. So we're looking at the 4 hour. Bounce, bounce, a little fake out, back into the wedge. Strength is coming back in. What does the high time frame look like? Oh yeah, look at that. 12 hour. That's sexy. Baby. All right, let's see if that plays out for us. Let's see if we reach our target of the first weekly. Okay, we have a new trend to track. Unsuccessful. It's gonna try again. We'll zoom into the 4 hour. We're below that line though, but we're not below the previous fake out. So it's still, like I said, thought process. Looking good. Meh. But looking like it really wants to try. Oh no, baby. What does high time frame tell us? Let's look at this now. So that's our working area, because that's our 618. Are we going to tag it? Oh, we front ran touching it. But, like I said, interpretation. Let's see if we're happy with that, because we can use this low. Oh yeah, on this, that makes more sense. Remember what I said about time frames and where to draw the fibs? Sometimes it makes more sense at a different point to give you more confidence. 618, that's the low. That would have been the low for the, probably like a 3-day. Yeah. That would have been the low for the 3-day move. And it still wouldn't have made that. Oh, that's where the, look at this. See, that's where the 50 comes into play. That's a bull flag. That's really bullish. But like I was saying, remember how I said I don't typically use the 50, but I found that it has it sometimes respects it. Boom, 50. I'll put it on often, but for the video, this video, I didn't, because I don't want to get things too cluttered for you to understand. Like, it's just too confusing with too many lines. I like to keep things neat. But see, there's two different points of confluence. There's the 50, and then there is the 618. So that was a very high confluence zone. And I'm sure if I put the VWAP on, Let's try. I don't want to show that yet. That's too much right now. That's a very good area of confluence because we have this fib, and price and indicators telling us pay attention to that spot. 618 and 50. 50 is like kind of random, but if you see it bounces off of it, it's worth it. If the indicators are telling you, you know, that's a good spot. Okay, so we did bounce, but we're not out of the woods yet. I do like this spot better though. See how it wicks in there sometimes, like I was telling you? It goes into here, then back out, because it's an obvious level that people, you know, put their stop losses on. But we haven't broken this high, but strength looks good. And it's curling over though. Rejected. Do we break it? And it even respected the 50 using this as the fib level. Right? So the 50 makes sense here. Oh, what was the trend? Oh yeah, that was it. Now it's retesting the trend. And on the 50. Do we get a successful retest? Yes, we do. Not yet. That looks like a double top. Let's zoom in. All right, I'm pretty happy with what's happening there. It's trying 50. That looks like it's curling up. Oh yeah, baby. And if you're into that shit, inverse head and shoulders, probably reach around there. Now that we found a bottom, we remove this, take this trend out. See how you pretty dynamic? Look, fuck, 618. Insane, dude. Insane, my dude. I'm gonna remove the 50. And see how that lines up there too? I'm confident that that's support. Move our stop loss to there. How much profit have we secured? Now we've secured 168%. All from a 15-minute scalp. See, that's the 50 there. If I turn that back on, boom, 50. All right. Whoops. Fib level. Whoa, baby. We like that. Bouncing off the... Oh, there. See that? Once you're above a level, sometimes you get these cheeky liquidation wicks. And they respect, like... What I do often, I look at the fib levels, and I'll place cheeky limit orders on these levels just in case there's, like, manipulation. And you'll catch them sometimes. Some of my best trades came from, like... I'll just randomly put it there thinking, you know, tomorrow's going to be a green day, but then it ends up dumping and then recovering within hours. So, strength is trying to challenge the median. Swing up. Let's check the 4 hour. See how we started from the 15, then to the 1, then to the 1 to the 4, then to the 4 to the 12, and 12 to the day, then the weekly. Super powerful shit, my friends. Respecting the 618. That's our orange line. And what happens? What do things look like on the high time frame right now? Oh, baby. Oh, shit. Look at that. Now we're just going to stick to looking to the weekly. All right, so we're gonna remove all that shit. Remove that. We hit our first target zone, but the weekly is looking so bullish. So bullish, holy smokes. What's that scalp turned into now? 500%. Rejected off our weekly time zone that we originally identified on the beginning of the video. Alright, things are looking a little funny now. We're going to track this trend. And I'm going to personally close it if we break below this. And now we've secured how much profit. And this is how I trade. I move my stop loss or I increase my position. 238%. Oh, we got stopped out. Boo earns. Just as I moved it too. If we kept it here. Alright, let's check this out. That's the top of our move. It bounced at the 618. Damn, son. That would have been nice if we kept it down there. But I personally would have moved it up, so I would have gotten stopped out. 200% profit. Not bad. 2x. Imagine that with leverage. That's a 20x. Or, yeah, 20x. Not 10x. So are we going to maintain that? Get rid of that trend line. 618, very good probability bounce zone. Lots of consolidation. Things are looking bleak. Good thing we got stopped out. Imagine we didn't, and like that, our stop loss was back there. Yeah, we would have gotten stopped out. Again, remember what I said about it even respects it on the high time frame. We're on the weekly right now, but it goes here, and it looks like it's trying to go back out because it's wiping out all those stop losses. Nope. Oh, that's cheeky. That I would have been pissed. But now we have a trend to track. Yep, I'm paying attention. Right here would have been good. On the daily. You get the fucking idea. I'm gonna talk more about now the... So like, mark the weekly hot zones. They're very high volatility. And then when you go, depending on your time frame, that's where you look at your lows and your highs. Remove 6 drawings. So let's try and identify this one here, where potential take profits are. Okay. So we'll go 3-day just to make these candles condensed. So look at that. Everything respects the 618. And then that's our high time frame. And let's just keep playing till we get to the point where we need to check for all-time high. Remember how I said that's overextension? A lot of the times 786. So rejection or the last line of defense type thing. And it's really bullish once it passes it on. Okay, so I'd pretty much call that like a good all-time high, and we can remove our previous fib and we're going to use our ATH. So I have 3 different ideas for where we can go. We can use this one, this top to bottom, template, ATH. Oh yeah, see 1618. From this top to bottom, that's where it stopped, right there. 1618, that's an extension. There's another area here. But first, let me draw this here. So these are potential. I'm probably more keen on this one here because there's 2 that line up. But what about, let's see, from here to here? Oh yeah, that's a pretty interesting zone for me right there. I see a cluster of 3 potential. So I'm going to remove these. Actually, no, I'll keep them there for now because this is another potential reaction area because I see 2 pretty close in the proximity. But this one's nice because it has 3. We don't know where price is, like, there's no reason, like, no idea, right? Sometimes price will go past it, but you've locked in profits. And you don't know where the top is. Like, you don't want it to be the top. Like, if you do sell here, you're selling the top. That's fucking amazing. But it might go past and then back down. You know, but you've locked in some profits. See how it reacted off of this 1618? And that was from this top to this bottom. That's why it's useful to have multiple data points to give you ideas of where. And this one I'm really putting emphasis on because I see 3 of them. 1, 2. I don't know if you can see that, but I have 3 lines. One dark one here, another dark one there, and another one there. Here, let me make that more visible. 2618, 3618. Which one was it that I did? Not that one. 1618. God damn it. Anyways, yeah, I'm putting emphasis on that area there. Now it's looking crazy. I know it's going to get confusing, but at all-time high, use multiple data points. We had an obvious top to bottom here, top to bottom here, top to bottom here. So 3 data points to say, hey, where's the highest confluence? And that's where I identified this area. See how we're still reacting off of this local one? And we're reacting off of this as support. And we have no idea. We had no idea where price would be, but it told us ahead of time, hey, look at these levels. Look at those levels. We're retesting the high as support now. So we'll do this, bottom to top. Template, default. Bouncing off the 382. I'm gonna save this as taking that shit off. Save as default. Save, yes. See how it bounced off of there again? And why? Price action here. Respecting that area. So are we going to bounce off of that? Yes. See that? My area that I marked a long time ago was a take profit area. Like I said, it might blow past it, but I've also identified another potential area. So we like that box. We're going to remove this. Now we have another data point to work with. This one right here. Low to high, template ATH. 1618. I respected that. And there's another area here. 2618. And I'll put the 3618. So these areas I'm interested in right now. See how we're identifying things? Oh shit. Motherfucker. This is going to be very important for you to use in the bull market to secure your profits. Volume's tapering down. I'm not liking that. Divergence. So let's prepare for this to be the top to see where we can get some cheeky buys. Tablet default. And we can have another one from here to here. So I'm really liking this area because I see confluence. Remember my zone between the 618 and 786 and the 382. Template buy area. Now we can delete them to keep our chart nice and clean because we haven't even gotten here. Once we build past them, we're gonna, you know, put some more fibs. Rejected, blowing past it. All right, interesting. Oh, see that? Another take profit. Rejected, but we're still in the box because that's a high confluent zone, and that might even be the top of our move. So there to there. I'm liking this because that's previous, and that's in the middle. That's at the 50. Remember where the 50 is? We'll turn it on. Right on the 50, right in our previous take profit. Resistance becomes support on the way down. So previous take profit becomes either an entry or, you know, a good support zone. But things are looking bleak. So are we going to go higher? Rejected. Oh, see that buy zone? We caught it. Back in our buy zone. Right in that area again, remember? Whoops. Right in that sexy area. 618, 786. But we have that top, and we have some new data points. Once we have another low, see how things like to wick into this zone? Again, it's respecting that 2618, that extension, despite not having previous, you know, price action. So we'll remove this. We can keep that there for now. Double top. Interesting, huh? So yeah, that's the power of the extension, the fib extension. That's good for taking profits. It's good for securing that money in all-time high. Don't be that person that's like, oh, it's gonna go to, you know, I'm gonna 100x. If it does, you're still taking profits on the way up. You might even, you know, have such a small position by the time it does 100x. But keeping the money, you don't know where the top is, and that's my point. Yeah, we saw this move happening a mile away. Like I was saying, divergence. We secured profits here and here, though. Right? So we're happy about that. So yeah, this might have been a long one, but it's a really, it doesn't have to be complex, but it's a very versatile and important tool to use to identify supports and hot zones. If you have any questions, if it didn't make sense, you know where to find me. But yeah, hopefully this makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'll do another follow-up video with answering questions and being a little more specific if I have to. But I think it's pretty straightforward. You'll end up drawing multiple fib lines on different time frames, but what I was saying is that what I want to get across is that, you know, there's multiple points to draw it from. It's the translation of, it's the knowing, the skill of knowing your time frame and the bottoms and the tops. You got to practice it. Practice it on price structure. You don't have to do the replay thing like I did. Just go to the week or the 3-day or the day and do this. Look. You'll see it bounce off the 50. You'll see it rejected off that. And if you extend it further, you'll see all kinds of 618, 618, underside, and just mark them and like go back and forth to different charts and just mark them and see how it respects it and like learn your time frames from different bottoms. Because you could even do this when you're at that point, but then now you have that data, but then you want the macro. It's like that. That's the macro hot zone because you're going from the top to bottom on a higher time frame. Weekly, like we drew them on the beginning. And it respected, if you cross that over, see that? Just practice doing that on like already existing, but I wanted to do the replay just to like walk through the thought process of how I would take things at the current time. All right? Love y'all.